So hello everyone, in today's video we are going to see 5 personally experienced reading benefits which are worth sharing with you. We don't act on things in today's world unless we see immediate benefit or gratification as such because of the swipe social culture. But in reading, what I would vouch for is that if you give 15 days to it, the gratification would not be immediate, but it would be lifelong once it starts to get into action. It's like a snowball effect. And also bear in mind that the term immediate is very relative and specifically to the generation you belong to, because immediate for me may be 30 days, for you it is the next swipe. So please bear that in mind. And I understand that some of you watching may not have the time to read the book, or may have tried it and failed badly or something like that. But the only way you can get this habit is by pushing yourself further and further. It is similar to the Netflix season. The first episode you don't like, you push it further because someone has recommended it, and then you watch second one and possibly the third one, and now because you've already watched 3 episodes, you just keep pushing, and somehow you finish the season. This is kind something similar to that. So here are my 5 personal reading benefits which I would like to share with you. The first one is depth. Reading gives you a lot of depth in understanding and knowing things. But here is the twist: there is a difference between knowing and understanding. And with reading, you get both of them. But when you watch a video or watch the summary of the book, you come to know the stuff, but you actually are not sure whether you understand it or not, or our brain plays a trick that you have already understood them. So if that was the case, then why come after watching so many book summaries or going through nuggets of books, we are still not able to grasp that thing or use that thing for our own benefit? Because understanding is the only thing initially which will help you to gain that knowledge or gain that confidence, because there is a story behind it. There is a reason why there is a 300 pages book. The books are not 20 pages, they are always 300 pages. And that's the reason when you read a book through properly, you have a story behind it, and that is how we remember things. And that's the reason we did not remember anything when it was textbooks, because they don't have a story. They have text, blobs of text which you need to make sense of, and that's the most irritating thing. That's not the case with reading books. And with depth, you will feel that inside. I cannot like put it into words. I cannot be poetic and explain you with the feelings, because even I am still learning many things. But it does something to you, and you become more confident as well when it comes to depth. And then you have a background of any story. It can be any book. Like I have a book which is called YouTube Secrets or something like that. It has a story behind it. There are ample videos which give you 7 different things to do to make this or do that, and this is everywhere around us. But still 95% of us, or even 99% of us, are not able to achieve that. It is because it doesn't work that way. Our brain requires proper validation and everything, and proper understanding, and that comes through storytelling. And that's the reason even in today's digital world, books are still one of the most required things in our culture, else they would have vanished with Kindle being there and Nook being there. Now moving on to the second one. The second best thing is more information. Now this might sound contradictory to the thing that reading actually has to be a one thing or a serene thing and peaceful thing. Yes, it is, but I'm comparing it with any social media platforms wherein you swipe like 1,000 times in a day, and you think that there's nothing to watch. But the problem with that is when you do 1,000 swipes, or yeah, you do 1,000 swipes, so that is a decision making your brain is doing, and it is getting exhausted with that. But in terms of books, you are the owner of choosing which information you want to imbibe or grasp. And if you don't like the book, you keep the book aside. So you make like 2 or 3 decisions. But in social media, you have to swipe through many things, for no reason, and there is a toll for that on the brain, and because of that you get exhausted and you don't find the time to read. And mostly the swiping apps are used for entertainment. There is rarely a person who might use it for reading or getting something new. And the problem with them is you just don't remember anything out of it. But when you read a book, you remember more things. And by remembering, I'm not talking in a college sense or a academic sense. I'm talking about when you read a book, you are going to forget it. I'm not saying you're going to remember it, but based on your experiences and your understanding, that all those experiences are clubbed into one thing, and whenever in the future you're trying to speak or you're trying to understand something in a very different thing, the brain works in very magical way to make sense of all the readings which you have done here and there, and it comes out at least with a solution, and if not solution, it will show you the path. And this happens so fast and so automatically that you won't even realize this is because of that or that is because of this. So that is what you get. That is what I mean by more information which is much valuable to you, rather than just information which may not be used anytime soon. Now the third point is understanding capacity and capability. Now we normally read books which are in our own language or the language which you have been speaking for quite a long time now. So when you read that, your brain is continuously fighting to make sense of whatever information you're going through, because the books are written in such a way, they are written in a storytelling way. But the thing is, this everything of every bit of this thing happens too fast, but your brain is relentless in making sense something you have read in chapter like third and you're on the seventh one. It will try to connect those things, and these connections will be beneficial later on. This doesn't happen in, at least I'm not aware this happens in any of the other form. It happens in art or something which we do with hands, like a woodworking or something like that. So it happens there, but nothing digital I have ever felt has done this to me. It has always been reading and woodworking or crafting stuff. And once this comes to you, the understanding capacity and the capability, your brain automatically reads faster. You don't feel the toll of reading page by page and line by line. Your brain works faster. You start to make sense much more easily compared to what you have been doing before. And not only that, it actually helps you with different perspectives and different understandings of the same very thing, and this also helps you develop a very different personality. It cannot be explained in words, as I said, because even I am learning and it's very hard for a non-native speaker to explain these things, so I try to be as simple as possible. But it actually changes the personality in many different ways, and this depends on individual to individual, so it's a very beautiful thing. And the fourth thing it does to you is it helps in immediate situations. By this I mean, now this is a very personal experience, because as a non-native English speaker, you always have to go through the speech or elocution competitions. You actually remember each and every word because the words are not used on a daily basis. And then in front of the mic when you are in school, and you're doing the speech and speaking for or against, doesn't matter because everything is scripted. uh, and then when you forget something, you're trying to remember the word like this, and of course bullies are always there everywhere. So that month after that is a harassing month, because everyone knows that this guy forgot something on the stage. And then of course people come up, teachers say that yeah, there will be people like this and that. But yeah, this is how a non-native speaker's story goes. But actually when you start reading, you have so much context behind your mind or inside your mind, however you want to perceive it, so that you actually can come up with various ideas. Now if someone asks me to speak on any given topic, automatically I don't have to think anything as such. There's no toll on the brain, and there's no fear inside, because now I can come up with 5 pointers and I can start speaking on some of the topic. Yes, I will have the fear, I'll have the frog inside my stomach and whatnot. Everyone has that. If someone says that they don't have it, they are lying, no matter how many times or years you have practiced this. But there is always that fear, and once you start speaking, it vanishes automatically, because brain starts to concentrate on putting the words out instead of concentrating on the frog and anything else. So your speech actually improves, and this is not just to uh, look smooth or look beautiful in front of people. The satisfaction which comes after the speech, not because people have validated you, it is because there's a very different feeling inside, that you have read something and you remembered it from, I don't know, like I remember things from like 2009 and 2012, and I can connect it with something completely different, and people are amazed that how do you do it, how can you come up with these words. This is like 10 years into building, and it's natural, of course, and every time it's getting higher and higher. So it's not building as in there is no end to it, but yes, it has been climbing upstairs every single time or every single year. And with all these things, we are coming to the last point, which is relationships. It can be any relationship. I'm not a relationship expert as such, but when you have so much of information, your brain is always contemplating, it understands more, speaks less, and reacts less. And whenever it speaks with justification automatically. You don't have to like think about, yes, this is the justification and this is the actual thing. You don't have to do that. So it does it automatically. And in most relationships which I have been through or going through, the main reason or the main concern is always that you're not able to convey the point properly to your father, mother, whoever it is. And that is where the friction starts, and that is how the problem begins. But if you have the way of thinking, as I told you, you will think more, and with thinking it will be on the right path. Anyone can think anything and more and beyond more, but you will think on the right path, and because of that you may possibly avoid these unnecessary conflict. I'm not talking about avoiding conflicts at all. You would avoid these unnecessary conflicts, and there is a high chance that you will be able to be happy in any kind of relationship. So these are my 5 things. I hope there might be few mistakes. I hope you might have learned something from this. So if you're still here, I cannot thank you enough for watching this video, and please do give me your feedback if you find anything odd or anything bad. Thank you for watching.